The type of influence that Katiso MOLEFE has is just above. From capturing judges to capturing the subs, not just normal subs members, even the hawks themselves, especially when it comes to his arrest. In this video, I wanted us to talk about witness A testimony and everything that transpired during the arrest of Katiso MOLEFE. So witness A started by talking about safety and how they had to be moved to a place of safety, and they also left with their docket.
We remain investigators to this day, but it was the crime intelligence who was looking at the safety of the docket and the safety of the personnel that was working in the operation. As I mentioned yesterday, that the focus of safety was not only targeted to or given to the people, which means the investigators, but also the docket as well. It needed to be protected. So we are still the investigating officers in the docket as we were before the crime intelligence took over. But it is just them that are providing security, or I would say protection, and the guidance that is needed.
And how important for them to safeguard that docket. He then quickly started talking about the arrest of Katiso MOLEFE and what happened. Says that when you arrive there, they then called upon them to come and open the door for them or open the gate for them so that they can start doing the raids. So they said that they had 3 operations on that day. The first operation was to arrest Katiso MOLEFE. The second operation was to arrest Lucky MOLEFE, who's the nephew to Katiso MOLEFE. But the nephew arrest failed.
3 operations that were running differently. But I will talk mainly to 2, which was split amongst or between myself and witness B. I was in charge of the operation that was going to be arresting Katiso MOLEFE on that day, and witness B was going to be in charge of an operation that was supposed to arrest Lucky MOLEFE.
So they had to focus on the Katiso arrest. So they went inside, they started raided. So 7 different cars. The house was huge for them to raid. While they're still raiding, number 1, the hawks came. They stood outside, started asking about, coming inside the house, what they were doing, what is the case number, what evidence do they have, all of that. And that was very unusual from what witness A said.
That have arrived, and then they demanding to enter. They call themselves that they're coming from DPCI, and then they want to know what was going on at Molefe's house.
Can you just tell us what is DPCI?
DPCI are known as Hawks.
Thank you.
It's an allied unit that is working with private crimes.
Thank you. You may proceed.
Yes, and then I was called outside to come and explain to them and tell them to say, no, this was a legit operation that was taking place at Molefe's house. And then I found these members with the members of the TRC outside, and then with also one of the members that we're working with who was trying to explain to them we're doing this operation on a certain case. Then they said now they need details of the case that we're working on, and they wanted us to brief them on that case, which now we said no, we cannot do that, because now what is your interest in the case? Why should we give you the details of the case that we're working on?
Also, while they were still busy and that, a helicopter came hovering closer to the house, which was then they asked themselves, where is this helicopter coming from? It seems as if it was subs members, but it was not. He was not sure if whether it was state resources or it was a private helicopter, but it was hovering over the house. Also, concerned about the operation, asking questions as to what they have on Katiso. So they realized then that they're dealing with someone of different caliber, and that this man is very, very influential.
It was very unusual. It was an odd thing to happen, because why would you want the case number or the details of the docket? What would you do with that? Let alone that this case, it was the case that was not even shared with the units that we were coming from. So for a different component to want to know the details of the case that you're working on was so unusual. I was pacing around, coming to the gate, attending to the DPCI people. There was also a lawyer who also wanted to be let in there. And then there's also a person who was a friend, who introduced himself as a friend of me, who really demanded entry. He said he wants to be let in. And then the people who were controlling the situation had to call us from inside to say, let's call the detectives, and then you tell them who you are and why you want to be let in here. So I was pacing up and down. Then as I left the gate now, having addressed the DPCI guys, going back to the operation that was happening inside, we had the noise of the hovering helicopter that was hovering so low over the house. We thought maybe it was just passing, but then it just made turns, maybe for about 10 minutes to say, what was happening now. Then I came out to see what was going on, and I could see that that was a police helicopter, not SAPS, but it was a traffic helicopter that was just hovering so low over this house. And then we thought there's something really happening. And I cannot read this surname.
Raftopoulos.
Yes.
And did he say on whose instruction he was there?
Yes, he told us that he was coming from Gauteng traffic. Then he was requested by a certain colonel from TPCI to say he has received a complaint that there is bogus police in that address that we're in. Then he was sent to go check what was going on there.
Upon their raid, they found documents. They found an office that had a lot of documents, and amongst many was the Transnet documents. And they said that there was a company called the SK Karoo. And the SK Karoo seems like is a company that belongs to Lucky Molefe. And from what Katiso Molefe is that office was mostly used by Lucky Molefe as well as Thapelo Molefe, who's the son to Katiso Molefe. So clearly these people were getting tenders from Transnet because they said that there was a Q-Tech company buyer that was involved in those documents. And there was one document where they were it seemed like they were testing different signatures to see which one will work. So I think that they were trying to do some fraud of some kind and they were busted. So I think definitely Lucky Molefe as well as Thapelo Molefe have to be found, because right now Lucky Molefe is still on the run, hence they were not able to arrest him. But these people, they were very much connected, especially from the documents that they found. They're very much connected to the Transnet and what was going on there.
Transnet, applying for tenders for Transnet, registration of companies. And then there is also a particular set of documents that belonged to a company that I mentioned yesterday, which is SK Group, which is now linked directly to the matter that we were dealing with at the time. This A Group, if I can just take the commission a little back, is that it was the group, it was the company that was a buyer at a Q-Tech company buying for Transnet. And then Molefe's nephew, Lucky Molefe, that we needed to arrest, was working for Transnet, holding a position of a buyer as well, meaning he would buy products for Transnet. Now we finding these documents here, and then this SK Group was supposed to be an independent company, not linked to Molefe, but now here it was at Katiso's house. Then I asked him about this document to say, why are you having these documents at your house? And he said, hey, these things have nothing to do with him, because this office is mostly used by Lucky Molefe and his son, who is Thapelo Molefe. It is in this signature. For whatever reason. Then we asked him about, why are you having these pages that is full of signatures? Who is practicing these signatures? Then he said, don't ask me about these things. I really visit this office. It is used by my nephew, who is Lucky Molefe, and my son.
And he says that upon finding out who gave this instruction for the Hawks to come into the house and for that helicopter to be in the house of Katiso Molefe, it seems as if Libya was involved, who was the head of the Hawks at that time. So Libya was very much involved and he knew Katiso Molefe. Then Colonel Kenny Mukwena then told him that you arrested the person of generals.
I told him to say, now you will have a lot of resistance from the generals. But moreover that, it was taking me aback to what was happening with all the generals trying to get hold of us, or trying to establish the connection with the investigating team, to say we were actually encroaching in the people that they're taking care of, not knowing that we will actually arrest the very same person that they had connection with. Because at the time when we were invited to the places that we were invited to, we were only dealing with the three suspects that we arrested in the Mr. Swart matter. I don't think they appreciated that our investigation will lead to Mr. Molefe. Now, when the time came that we arrested Molefe, now we explicitly told that now you just have arrested the person of the generals.
And at that time, he didn't understand what that means, but it then came to him that he means that he's arrested a person that is well connected and that is known by generals, that knows generals as well. That is when it came the name of Shadrack Sibia, that Shadrack Sibia is not happy and that he's receiving a lot of pressure as well from Shadrack Sibia, meaning Kenny Mukwena is also receiving a lot of pressure from Shadrack Sibia as to what is going on and why did they arrest Katiso, why did they take Katiso to a certain prison. And I think I did make a video, guys, around that and how Colonel Gunene was worried. Not just him, even Shibiri. If you guys remember Shibiri.
At the area where we arrested him from, he mentioned the area to say, did you arrest a person in that area yesterday? Then I said, yes. Then he said, then where is the person that you arrested now? We are referring to Katiso Molefe. Then I told him that, yeah, we arrested Katiso Molefe. Then he said, where is he? Then I say, we detained him in Pretoria Central Police. Then he told me that, why did you not detain him at a local police station. And then he said the problem now is General Sibia, who is now the Deputy National Commissioner, had just called him asking about where MOLEFE was arrested and why, detained rather, and why is he not detained in a local police station. And then I gave him the reason why he was not detained at a local station. Then he went on to say, but now, why did you not tell the family? And then I said, it is the family, and I gave them my number if they needed anything. He then said, I got a call from General Sibia raising this concern to say now, I think he was also getting pressure from somewhere himself.
Even Shibiri was worried, saying that a senior police officer called Homeboy wanted to know what is happening with the MOLEFE bail.
Told him that I declined on excuse that I'm not well, because they told me that he has just attended a surgery. They said I will tell him that I'm not going to attend because I'm not well. And then he told me that he knew that at the back of his mind he knew that he wanted to be at the party so that he can give progress feedback on the Ahmad Swart case. Then he said he didn't want to do it because he knew that General Sibia didn't want it to brief the National Commissioner, but he wanted it to brief the other side. That is how he put it. And then it says, I think General Shibiri was telling me this to make me aware of the magnitude of the arrest that we had just made and the Swart matter case in its entirety, meaning the whole picture of things now. General Shibiri then went on to tell me about his own experience with cases that he was involved in. I felt that he was perhaps trying to distance himself from this case. In any event, General Shibiri then mentioned that he had received a call from General Sibia who wanted to be briefed. That is, I think now it will deal with what I've already mentioned that side with his response. And he, General Shibiri, now regretted that he responded in that manner because he owed his promotion to General Sibia. General Shibiri also said that he knew that General Shibiri did not want the information for the National Commissioner, meaning he did not want the information in order for him to brief the National Commissioner, but rather for the other side, to saying now he was going to be briefing the side of the suspect. I understood this to mean that General Sibia wanted information on SWART matter investigation for the accused person, not for the National Commissioner as an official report.
Brigadier Kwashu is the one that actually is connected to MOLEFE, and even when they incarcerated MOLEFE, ensuring that not anyone and everyone goes and visits MOLEFE. If anyone visits MOLEFE, they have to go through the witness A and everybody that is working in the operation. So when that happened, this Nkwashu person would even go to the police station if visit MOLEFE without the police officers being aware.
Referring to Brigadier Nkwashu, because it was him who was at the district level, and it was him who had shown interest in this case, and it was him that we were later to learn that he was directly connected to Katiso MOLEFE, and it was him that we will later learn that he made to sneak into the prison to visit Katiso MOLEFE and with his vehicle not fixed with registration number, and it was him that was part of the party that I didn't attend. And it was him that I was informed by an informer that he was fighting with General Shibiri and the provisional commissioner.
And when this whole thing was happening, it then came out that Nkwashu was not happy to a point that he started fighting with Shibiri and Sibia, saying that they're not his friends anymore. So these people were friends, and they were very upset that they couldn't really secure the release of Katiso MOLEFE, and that they allowed Katiso MOLEFE to be arrested. So in a way, Nkwashu thought that it's in the hands of Shibiri as well as Shadrach Sibia to ensure that Katiso MOLEFE does not get arrested. Kanti, the team is very strong because it had the TRT, the Tactical Response Team. It also had their team, and it also had the team of Lieutenant General Tlamkwanas, which is the Political Unaliving Task Team. Even though the Political Unaliving Task Team was not in the vicinity or at the scene of the arrest of Katiso MOLEFE, they were surveilling somewhere else and, giving information to the SAPs and stuff like that. So they had a really strong team that was really onto these persons, and they had really overwhelming evidence. As I've said, they even found Transnet documents in the house. So it really couldn't make sense for them to actually protect this man, because at this moment it was inevitable for him to be arrested.
Investigation without considering the safety of the investigators. That is now the information that I was getting from the informer to say these three senior officers, they are fighting. They are no longer in talking terms because Brigadier Nkwashu is going out of his way to work with the suspect, even where he sees that the safety of the investigating officer will be compromised. He does not consider that.
Which then leads us to the name of Julius Malema being mentioned. I think I did make a video on that. But what I love about Julius Malema is that Julius Malema did say a long time ago that he knows Katiso MOLEFE, and that he doesn't understand why Kenny Kunen is hiding that he knows Katiso MOLEFE, because Katiso MOLEFE is a known business person. So that's what Julius Malema says. So I'm not shocked that he says that he knows this person, that it's not shocked that his name comes up, because he did say that he knows this person. What shocks me is that he actually knows Sibia, of which that was not revealed by him in any platform, because we know Julius Malema is a very loud person, as very transparent person, and I would have expected that we know that he has relations with Shadrach Sibia, but he never said anything until now we found out. And then he also spoke about the bail. So after they incarcerated him, they failed to release him, and then now they went to the bail. So the bail happened, and it seems like everything was proper up until they then found information that Katiso MOLEFE is about to pay 2.5 million to a judge. And that became even more apparent when the judge refused to hear the case of the prosecutor. Whatever the prosecutor speaks disturbs the prosecutor, but wanted to hear the defense attorney. So that was one of the red flags from them.
Katiso MOLEFE will get paid. They went as far as giving the figures as to how much he's going to pay for his way. But now that information will be dealt with more by witness B. What I just wanted to highlight here is that at the back of our mind, when we went to the courtroom, we already knew that this is what has been said to us. And then we didn't know if it was going to transpire the way they said it or not. We also raised it with our commanders to say, this is the information that we received as a team, to say that this man is going to get paid. This is what I'm trying to elaborate on, Chair. The figure that I'm talking about here, it's not the figure that is going to be fixed to say he's going to be granted bail at an amount of maybe 1,000 rand. No, but it is the figure to say you pay me this much so that I can give you bail at the region of 100,000 rand, for an example. So that is the figure that was given to us to say he's going to pay 2.5 million for him to be granted bail. I took note of was that the judge was not really willing to listen to the submissions of the prosecutor, but he was interested to listen more to the submissions of the defense, in as far as even assisting the defense where they were making the submissions to make an extension of the submissions.
So this judge was very much bribed, and I think it's not enough for even to call for the audits and investigation on judges in this case of Katiso MOLEFE. I think the judges in the Johannesburg High Court definitely should be investigated, because everybody, when they want to appeal, they go to them. Yes, I know the matter of jurisdiction and everything very much matters, but it seems like even those judges in Johannesburg are very corrupt. And what worries me is that a former judge president of that court is none other than the Deputy Chief Justice. And I'm very worried that, hopefully the Deputy Chief Justice is not implicated in this whole thing. I'm hoping that he's not, because clearly the judges in Johannesburg High Court are known to be bribable, to be part of the syndicates, to be ensuring that these people that are dangerous in society get bail as long as they're paid money. Because this person just took his 2.5 million and then released Katiso MOLEFE 400,000 bail. And I think that is unfair. And also the conditions that are also in line with his bail, for example, that he needs to report to the police station, he can't travel. All those things, that guys, they later on can be relaxed. So it is very shocking that he needs to report to the police station, house arrest. All those things are some of the conditions that have been given to these people that are accused of unaliving other people. This case of ARMANN Swarts, guys, is very, very important, and it's very painful how everybody is guarding against the person that might have given instruction. This man, Kingpin Katiso MOLEFE, is very, very influential. He's very, very influential. He knows everybody, and everybody bows to him. Literally everybody, the biggest officers that are holding the most important offices, they're really bowing down to this man called Katiso MOLEFE. And there's a lot of people that are working hand in hand, who works with who works with who, in order for them to ensure that Katiso MOLEFE is protected. So this man, it will be hard for him to get arrested. Now with this truth coming out from witness A, I wonder how much of a bombshell will be when witness B comes and then seals it off. Because there's a lot of gaps that witness B is going to come and fill in. But it's really, really worrying how this whole thing is moving right now. This is more than Netflix. This is more than Showmax. This is like, the premium of Ditaba to another level. Because the questions that we have, the questions that I have, are just a lot for all these people that keep on being implicated. As to what is it? Does it goes back to money? Is it all about money? That you can risk your career as a judge, as a legal practitioner, as a police officer, as the Hawks, just because of rata chelete, just because of money, guys. It's all because of money. I don't know what you guys think. Please comment your thoughts about all these updates. If there's anything that I've left off you can comment and tell us what is it that you've realized or you've seen there, and let us engage, let us be friendly in the comment section, let us educate each other instead of coming for each other. The security guards of Katiso MOLEFE were heavily armed to the T when they arrived there. It then gave me a signal that Katiso MOLEFE knew that he was about to be arrested. He knew that the police are coming for him. Hence, he made sure that he gets his friend, who then said it's a security guard, but later found out that it's his friend who was heavily armed, to a point that there were questions about whether the firearm that he had or the weapons that he had were licensed. Even though, yes, there was proof of license that was provided later on, but the question still remained, how did he get the license? Because it seems like with regards to the rifle, and that how did he get the rifle? Because not a civilian, you can't just be a civilian in South Africa and have a rifle. Apparently Mukai has a security company. Remember, security company.
We had to disarm him and then restrain both of them before we could ask them to identify themselves to us. The person that was with Katiso MOLEFE at the time had a rifle, and then his rifle, I think he also had 3 extra fully loaded magazines with him, and a magazine that was in the firearm, meaning that he had 4 fully loaded magazines in his rifle, and then he also had a side pistol that he had on his waist, and then Katiso MOLEFE also had a side pistol that was on his waist, and then we disarmed them, and then we asked them to produce or to show us their firearm licenses, which they did. Bodyguard to Mr. MOLEFE, then he said, no, he's not a bodyguard to Mr. MOLEFE, he's just a friend. Then I asked him, why are you so heavily armed? Then he told me that he was phoned by Mr. MOLEFE saying that there are people that are parked next to his house and he doesn't trust them. That is why he came armed.
Security company is one of the things that these people who are part of the Big Five normally use for them to be able to have things like weapons or guns. So this man has a security company which then allowed him to have a rifle that he used to ensure that he protects Katiso MOLEFE from arrest by the police. This guy initially, it is said that he resisted and didn't want to be arrested, but over time he then let loose and allowed the arrest to happen, or the search to happen. They seized all the weapons that he had, and then they started searching the property. If you want to know what happened with that, how the search happened, the drama that happened in that search, go to my video, the video that I uploaded before this one, which explains the circumstances of the arrest. Moving right along to another aspect that I think is very interesting, which is them trying to apprehend or to incarcerate or to arrest witness A.
Spoke to me in Benet to say, arrest that person for interfering, meaning Captain Kruger. Why don't you arrest him for interfering? Because you guys have explained yourself to him, but still he's pestering, he's still asking questions, he wants to know more, but you told him that you're doing a formal or a non-police operation. You should just be arresting him. And then the person was saying that is one of the person that he came with. No, commissioners, I think I will withhold his name at this moment, because even if I would, I know him by a nickname. Then I can give that to the evidence leader, not on this platform.
So during this operation or this whole process, they tried to arrest witness A. It was their intention to arrest witness A, meaning that this whole situation was a drama. It was a movie that they wanted to arrest them. The people that came to arrest their friend, the police officers that were sent, or the hawks that were sent, now in turn wanted to arrest them. They did not succeed because these ones had to keep the composure, stay calm, remain calm, and that's what they did, so that the situation does not get out of hand, that a lot happens, because there were children in the house. There was the family of Katiso MOLEFE, so they had to contain themselves to ensure that the process does not get out of hand. Crazy, guys. So this whole thing, guys, the drama of this whole thing, the wrong are getting to be arrested, the right are getting to get out of bail. These people's lives were at risk. I understand why they had to hide their identity, because their lives were really at real risk. And yeah, let us, I'll see you guys on my next upload. Bye.
Not say what the exceptional circumstances were. What is the point you are making there?
I'm saying that the judge did not really exhibit the circumstances, the exceptional circumstances that need to be exhibited by the applicant to say he has given the exceptional circumstances to the satisfaction of the court, and these are the circumstances that the court is considering that will qualify him to be a candidate of bail.